Dolores Huerta made a big impact in the United Farm Workers Union and was a huge activist for gender discrimination. A little bit about Dolores and her early life. She was daughter to Juan Fernandez and Elisa Chavez. Her parents divorced and she lived with her mom and two brothers, and she grew up most of her life in California. Her mom owned a hotel which catered to low-wage families, and her mom was a big activist for cultural diversity. Dolores attended community college in California where she earned a provisional teaching credential. During her early teaching career, she noticed kids were always coming to school without proper necessities such as shoes, clothes, maybe they didn't shower or bathe, and they didn't always have something to eat, and this is what influenced her to start her mission and her lifelong mission for economic equality. One of her strong suits was working as an organizer. She worked closely with the Stockton Community Service Organization, and she really worked to better her community. During this time, she was founder of the Agricultural Workers Association. She helped to set up voter registration and make improvements within the community. At this time, she met Cesar Chavez. Cesar Chavez and Dolores worked closely with organizations and the National Farm Workers Association and Agricultural Workers Organizing Committee. Both together formed the United Farm Workers Union. In these pictures, you can see what farm life was like. You can see kids in the top right working, which is not the best conditions for children, let alone women, or for women, let alone children. Excuse me. Together, Cesar and Dolores founded the National Farm Workers Association. They made a huge impact through boycotting and at the ballot box. They didn't always have the financial means to back what they were doing, but they did the best they could. During this time, Dolores also found her passion for working closely with gender discrimination within the movement. She also helped secure aid for dependent families, disability insurance for farm workers in 1963, and was a part of the Agriculture Labor Relations Act of 1965. While working during this time, she met Gloria Steinman, another feminist, and together they helped the cause and fight for gender discrimination. They were big challengers to gender discrimination. Dolores once said during a meeting, the men made 80 sexist comments, and she brought this to their attention. And it really wasn't an issue until she brought it up, and as the meetings progressed, sexist comments were less and less, and this really brought awareness to the issue. The National Boycott of California Table Grapes started on September 8, 1965. It lasted over 5 years, and it did end in victory. It spread to over 2,000 workers who all they wanted was their wage to be equal to the minimum wage of the state of California and better working conditions. Cesar and Dolores had the idea to stop the grapes from being loaded at the dock, which resulted in spoiled grapes, thousands and thousands of spoiled grapes, which companies did not appreciate. Dolores believed in nonviolence. She thought it was their strength. She wanted all members of the family to be included, not only men but women and children as well, because this was affecting people's lives across the board. She was assaulted at the age of 58 by a police officer when she was protesting the election of George Bush. She broke 4 ribs and shattered her spleen. This resulted in a lawsuit against the police department, in which she won. She also worked for Feminist Majority's feminization of power, encouraging Latinas to run for office and increasing women in public office. She also worked on the 50-50 by the year 2000 campaign, which increased women in public office, and she was a chair member for the 21st Century Party that was based on women making up to 52% of the party's candidates. Today, Dolores is still working. She's the founder of Dolores Huerta Foundation, and she helps individuals and families improve their lives. She also has many honors and awards. She has many schools named after her, and she was inducted into the California Hall of Fame, just to name a few, and President Obama has given her the award of Presidential Medal of Freedom. Today, her work is still appreciated and still continues to improve individuals' and families' lives.